So the simplest routed tunnel to create is a GRE tunnel. A GRE tunnel you'll always deploy in pairs, a primary and a secondary. You'll create it from the router that sits one hop inside the firewall and generate the tunnel through the firewall all the way through to the Zero Trust Exchange. You want to send the tunnel through the firewall and make sure that NAT does not occur before traffic comes into the router, so that within the tunnel we see the client IP address, we see all the traffic towards the internet at the Zscaler enforcement node, and that means that we can then apply per device or per application policy, as well as logging all of that traffic. So to create a GRE tunnel, we have to start with adding an IP address. GRE tunnels are associated with a static IP address. So I come into the administration interface, I add a static IP, I enter the IP address and a description, and Zscaler's GeoIP database should place it relatively close on the map as to where that IP exists. You can obviously override that and provide specific information if you want to. Once we've done that, we're going to add a GRE tunnel. We're going to select the static IP addresses we'd had previously and provide a description. The primary and secondary data centers should automatically be provided based on the GeoIP information and should be the two closest nodes to that IP address. You can select domestic preference if you want to keep things within the domestic US or within a country region. You're going to select the internal GRE IP range. This is used for the source IP or the internal IP addresses within the tunnel for health checks to make sure that the tunnel is up. Considerations: you always want to make sure you configure two tunnels, a primary and a backup. You want to make sure you don't exceed 1 gigabit per second through an individual tunnel. Create additional tunnels as needed to make sure that we can load balance the traffic properly, and ensure you have the correct MTU and MSS values. The best practices are provided on the Zscaler help page, as well as example configurations. Do not NAT traffic into the tunnels. Traffic exceptions, things that you want to bypass the tunnel for. Invariably you'd want to bypass any VoIP traffic from coming into the tunnels. You want to anything that's a source IP anchor or the ZPA app connectors, you want to bypass from sending into those GRE tunnels. As far as monitoring, you want to provide a GRE keep alive. Recommendation is to provide a layer 7 monitor through the GRE tunnel. So for example, IPSLA on a Cisco router. Do not perform layer 7 health checks to common websites like Google or Facebook or BBC. They'll end up in too many connections that get torn down, and then your IP and Zscaler's IP being either blacklisted or getting Google Capture displayed. So we monitor for this and we will block those connections. Test automatic failure. Make sure that your GRE tunnels are failing over cleanly. Run regular business continuity testing.